Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And oh boy, is that true with WestWorld. Man, so is this the end of WestWorld? I think almost certainly. If they get another season, I'll be amazed. I'll be happy if they get another season. I'm fine with them ending here, as I say, all the way through this review, right? All the way through this review. What I also say all the way through this review is WestWorld with this season has elevated itself to an all-time classic science fiction level. And I'm saying science fiction instead of sci-fi because that's what it is. It's serious, real science fiction, talking about serious, real things about human nature. It is fan-freaking-tastic, right? I put it up there with Fahrenheit 451. The book, not the movie. Although I quite like the movie. You know, I put it on the Battlestar Galactica, the reboot version of it. You know, it's a classic, an absolute classic in science fiction entertainment. Really, it's a lot of work, right? It's not for normies, and it's a lot of work. I found it hugely rewarding with this season, as you're about to see. So I did an in-depth review of it last night on my live stream. And I'm so enthused by it. Okay, normally when I do these in-depth reviews on my live stream, you see the viewers go, meow, just dive, right? Absolutely dive. Everybody stayed with it, right? Everybody stayed for some reason. So good for you. But they get no traction on my channel. I just love this show, right? I freaking love this show. After having a very wobbly second season, I'm going back and doing a full rewatch now, right? And it's gonna take me a good few months, right? Because it's a lot to chew through. It's not disposable, right? Sci-fi is disposable. Science fiction is real ideas, which is what this is, right? It's very, very, very clever, very deep, very layered, very meaningful. Everybody knocked out the park, right? Everybody indeed knocked out the park. Fine, before we get the review, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very, very good. There's not many of us here. If you could all hit the subscribe button, all 12 of you, thank you very much. That'd be great. Comment, let me know what you think. This show is so sadly underrated now, but it's an underrated gem. I guess as Van Gogh wasn't rated much in his lifetime either. This again, if it's not memory hold, will stand the test of time because it's very, very, very good. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very good. Let me hand over to me from last night as we go over the final episode, possibly the final episode ever of WestWorld. WestWorld. It's the season finale. It's probably the series finale. They left a path for the next season, and they want to do another season. They're not doing another season. It was getting 300,000 viewers, right? Down from season 2, it was getting like 900,000. Down from season 2 was getting 900,000. Season 2 was getting 1.8, and season 1 was like 3, right? It's not getting a 5th season. That being said, I would love it to get a 5th season, but it's like for me, the story you can explore it in other media at this point, right? It'll be a fantastic as comics. You want to do it as audio. There's so much ways they could do it, right? They could do it as a video game. Video game would be great. I mean, there's ways they could tell the story, right? Which I think will be interesting. If you've never seen WestWorld, it doesn't matter, right? Most of the characters are dead. Most of the stories are over. Right, it doesn't matter. Right now, this is the denouement, really, where it's a very nihilistic ending, right? And I really love that it's so nihilistic. But it's optimistic as well. So essentially, what happened was what, right? It was this: mankind made a theme park where they had perfect robots in it. They basically made them to have sex and to kill them, right? To fuck and kill. Right, and they gave it a nice Western environment. You got hints there are other worlds, the samurai world. You know, this is based on a 1970s movie where there was 3 worlds: Westworld, Roman world, medieval world. Have we got a vacation for you, Delos? Yeah. So this, I think, really spiritually ends the same way as that movie, which was what was it, Richard? Let me look it up. 1 second. Westworld movie. In the 1970s. It also had a very bleak, nihilistic ending. Was it James Brolin? Richard Benjamin, right? It was Richard Benjamin. Left a broken and dejected man at the end of it. So this feels like, kind of the same, right? And I think reasonably similar themes and messages going through it. So essentially, mankind have made this theme park that people can have sex in and kill in with these perfect robots. The creator of them knew they were going to become sentient, right? And so that's what took up most of the first season. About the first one becoming sentient, Dolores, and her journey. The second season was all about the revolution and killing lots of people. Third season was about breaking man free of human constraints. But the fourth season was about how these robots, whether there was more versions of them, went insane and ended up controlling humanity. So by this season, they've there's this Dolores robot had made copies of herself and put them in duplicates of real people. One of those duplicates was this woman, Tessa Thompson, who in this episode does a good job. I slag her off as having one acting style fits all. In this episode, I actually liked her performance. It might be the CGI. You'll see later. The CGI is off the freaking charts in this. I mean, I like Battlestar Galactica, especially that third season. When you've got to see the Cylons really close up. There's a scene where Boltar goes really close to a Cylon Centurion. You see like the dents and rivets in it, and freaking gorgeous on Blu-ray. Love it. I absolutely love a bit of Battlestar. I will put this up there with it. This is one of the all-time greats in science fiction, right? It really is. I rate it so highly. This is up there with 2001, right? I think this is a really wonderful piece of science fiction. So, basically, this version of Dolores named herself Charlotte Hell after the woman she was taking over, and was driven insane and enslaved humanity with this like long-winded plan to infect them with a black goo via bees, which she did. And it took like 30 years, and now 30 years later, right? And basically robots, they have so much control over humanity. They can do anything. They treat them very much like the humans treated the robots in the original WestWorld, right? And the basic idea is give them power, everybody fucks everybody else over, right? Which I kind of hear. Yeah, that's one of the basic rules of reality. So they notice though that when sometimes humans will be able to break out their conditioning, and when they do, the robots can have a game chasing them down. There it is. The newsflash. Tessa does good. It is. It really is that, right? So they chase the. But when they had was it Contact? Matthew Brown says season 6 will be based on Wayne's World, quite rightly so. Thank you, Matthew Powder. It's really funny. That's really generally made me laugh. Yeah, so they chase that. So when they have contact with these humans that are broken out, the robots normally kill themselves within 48 hours, right? So the Tessa Thompson robot, who's in charge, who's the only one with real free will, she's decided to have all the humans eliminated in a couple of hours, right? And she has control. They will absolutely do that. They'll all kill themselves on command. Okay, so the person who built WestWorld is this piece of shit called William, essentially. And the reason it was built because his father-in-law had this idea of transferring his consciousness into a robot body. It never really worked, right? It never really worked. You get bits. Now I'm thinking about it, you've had bits in the when you flash forward to the far future, which is interesting in context now. Now we know what happens, right? So because he's had contact with one of these outliers, right? They have this guy, William, right, who goes to the park a lot. He dresses in black and kills kills and rapes and murders, right? He starts off being a good person, but is eventually corrupted, right? And he's trying to break out this robot Dolores out of her loop, right? Just by being awful to her, I think. Or he has so much disgust for her that she can't remember the time they spent together. He keeps torturing her, like basically raping and murdering her, and her family, right? But that again, that's part of her breaking out of her, conditioning, her loop, which then she goes on in later seasons to want to do to humanity itself. So anyway, I digress. He's been so they made he's basically been trapped in this suspended animation thing, and not been allowed to die. And they made the Tessa Thompson robots made a robot version of him who's oversees the city, and played by Ed Harris, the Man in Black. And he's very, very good at it. But he's had contact with. He keeps unthawing the real version of him, and he's been going insane. Right, you see him going slowly insane, and the robot going insane, and you see Ed Harris, the real version of the character, driving him insane because he's insane as well. Right. And the idea is like, the last man standing, survival of the fittest. So, and he wants to carry on in this robot. So he breaks out the control of the Tessa Thompson robot, and he commands all the people using these big sound wave things to just kill everybody. A robot called host or human, and the last man standing is the last man. He wants to kill everything, right? And he goes off into the city to fight another day. So it starts off chaos, absolute chaos in the city, right? Everybody's dead, people are shot. It's crazy, right? It's freaking nutballs. And we end up, this is one of the robots I think the last time we saw him in the second season, he was like a hillbilly outlaw in WestWorld, and very, very violent, right? So he's like having a great time. So this is fucking insane. Right, I've seen so many robots killed. Yeah, this is like again. He's loving it, right? And she's like, we're gonna die, right? And then all of a sudden, dunk! Somebody stabs him hunks him in the back of the neck with an axe, right? And she runs off and gets shot, and he's like going hacking people. Then he gets shot, right? And there's this guy at the top of the show, like quietly taking people out, and going and like yeah, okay, I'm gonna be the last one standing, and boom, he's shot as well. He gets the car keys from this other guy, and comes Ed Harris, Man in Black, the real last man standing, right? And he wants to just kill everything. So we're on to the titles, and the title, I think I'm understanding more what this is about, right? This is about this is the bee they use to control mankind. This is a piano key, but also I think it's metaphorical for people running upon their pre-chosen tracks, which is one of the reasons I really like this show. It talks about what's free will. How are we really free, right? And like, what's the difference between a slave and a free person, right? And these really are questions that we don't ask, and we really should ask a lot more. Right, so I think that's what it represents there. This is the 3D print of the sound tower, right? Oh yeah, and as they left, they blocked the sound. Ed Harris blocked the sound tower so nobody can stop all the humans killing each other. This is how the robots are made, 3D printing. It's also, it's echoing the robots will destroy us, right? There's no way you can make them without us being a skeleton. And one of the great recurring theme of this is the first robot being a self-playing piano. Right. So then this image I didn't understand. I think I get the understanding of it now. What it's really talking about is what WestWorld is. This we see the piano playing itself again. These recurring themes, and that's all like trapped in our own little cells on fire. By the end of this, I think we have an understanding what that's talking about. Maybe. So it starts off. So Tessa Thompson was killed by Tandy Newton last episode, and Tandy Newton's not in this one, sadly. Freaking awesome, right? She deserves a round of applause. I can't wait to do a major rewatch of this whole series, right? Because it's so much better than I realized, right? This is a season that has saved the show. And it really is. If it gets a fifth season, I'm happy as anything. For me, I'm fine with this being the end. So yeah, this is the tower that's been blown up now. She was killed. So this I found a bit of a cheat, and it annoyed me somewhat. Right? You got these like creepy servitor droids that pick her up and they repair her, and she's fine, right? You know, when you're shot in the head, that's where they keep this marble, which is your brain. You're shot in the bloody head, right? So then she said, I need to be made stronger. So they like cut off her body. It was like, no, I want to keep my face. I want to keep my scars. So they cut off her body. They put her in this new super strong exoskeleton. And she does. She carries herself differently. She has a kind of like bored Roman emperor feel to it, but now she's got this power behind her, which you haven't really seen before. So she goes and checks out the tower, which is like, and there's this like 3D rendering of the city, and it's glitching away. And we find out more. I thought that was just a representative of the city, which they're controlling with these sound waves, right? Okay, so one of the characters, the ongoing characters, is Bernard, who's now dead, right? Bernard was a robot that was made by the original creator, Anthony Hopkins. What's his name? It wasn't Bernard. It was, I don't know, it seemed like a vague anagram of Bernard. I can't remember, right? Because he killed himself. The original guy killed himself, I think, when he realized that they're building sentience, right? I think that's why. I can't remember. I got to rewatch it anyway. So he's a robot, and he's been most of the androids have escaped to this thing called the Sublime, which is a VR environment where they live thousands of years every second, and it's completely blissful. He's run through a billion simulations of reality, and he's basically found the one tiny path where there's a teeny tiny chance to save humanity, to save some slither of humanity. No, he knows he could save himself, but he's going to die, right? Although he does save himself in a hastily made upload. We found out last week that he made a copy of himself and Tandy Newton and put himself in the VR environment. So, but he's left a message for Tessa Thompson saying, "There's that this is it. This is the end of reality, right? Everybody's going to kill each other. There's nothing you can do to stop. There's one thing you can do," and leaves a message, right? And she hears the message, and she's not enamored by it, right? She's not happy at all. So, meanwhile, Jennifer Jason Leigh. This is Jennifer Jason Leigh, I think. Yeah, she's been living in a city, and she's worked out she has control of the city, and she started dating what's his name? Cyclops from the X-Men. Good-looking chap, right? So who was her robot lover in the original WestWorld. And she's realized she has control over reality, but nobody can really see her. So what's going on is this. That she is the and this gets revealed. It's a bit of a slow reveal of the next 2 or 3 minutes, but she is the operating system driving the program that controls humanity. She is a storyteller, and she's written the story for everybody in there, and that's a holographic. She exists in that hologram recreation of Manhattan, for example, and that's why nobody can really see it, but she has complete control over everything, right? But she can't stop people killing each other that she tried to do. So with things not being the best, she's glitching away, and she's going around, and she's having a personal revelation, and she asks herself, who left herself this message? There's like a weird map thing drawn out there, and that weird map thing was the key to her becoming sentient in the first season, right? Like, who left it for her? So she's trying to reason out what's going on, and this is where she understands what she is. Like, she's living a virtual life, right? That's the map, and she's saying that people appeared when she needed them. She's realized that she's created everything in this reality, right? She's created a friend for herself. She created a boss. Like this is the reality she created to keep her safe, and she's managed to create her ex-lover, and she feels completely fulfilled. So Jeffrey Wright has told him the message, and she doesn't like it. She's pissed off, right? She goes over to the virtual city and starts stomping on it, right? Stomping on it and stomping on it, and starts glitching in the city, like, right? And eventually she gets down to the marble, which is the operating system, the drive, the central drive of these robots, and she pulls it out, right? And as she does, her entire universe goes dark, right? And she's taking it somewhere. She's on some kind of mission, right? Off she goes into the city. Meanwhile, a subplot that's been brewing nicely. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad's in it. He was killed 23 years ago, but they brought him back as a robot. But when you bring somebody back as a robot, they only last a few days, right, before they degenerate to death. His daughter, who's been looking for her all her life, has connected. It's very, very emotional, but they're caught in the riots, the people killing each other, and they've been injured, right? But he's shaking away, and she needs medical attention. So this is another robot from the original Westworld who didn't know he was a robot at the time. It doesn't matter. And he says, "Are you okay?" He says, "What do you mean?" Well, he's shaking out. He said, "I can make it, dude. Oh, I can make it." So okay then. Meanwhile, she as she's walking through a set, somebody gets up and tries to kill her. She just like hacks his face off, right? As she goes to check, this is the man in back, the Ed Harris, the dead version of him, right? Oh, yeah, man. And he meets Evangeline, right? This was another robot from the original Westworld who's out off a fucking tree. Oh, who plays this? Westworld host and actress. Westworld host actress. Evangeline. Hang on. And Westworld cast. Okay. Where is she? Okay, well, she's got to be here because I just saw Steve Ogg, who's in it less. One second, I'm going through them. Yeah, I like this about deep philosophy and insanely hot chicks. Okay, it's a good combination. It works well. Oh, there she is, Clementine, played by Angela Saffron, right? And oh my God, is this woman stunning? It's like, but out of a fucking box. This guy. So Clementine, she used to be one of the prostitutes in the original Westworld. Right, and she's like, you thought you talking about man about you thought you can make him and control him, but you can't. You were wrong, right? Is he breaking woke? He's very woke, Aaron Paul. What can I tell you? But he's a good actor too, so I don't give a shit. Okay, you want to put Kevin Spacey in movies too? I'll watch that. I don't give a shit. Right? And she's like, you're right. That's why I got to put him down. And she's like, look, they made a break. This is not the world you wanted. This world there is. We created though. I got to go check out what's out. Says you're not going to survive, right? They're going to kill you. He says, no, there's places where humanity can go. They're going to go and hide, and I can get in there. He's like, well, they're not going to accept you. He says, I'm not going to go there to be friends. I'm going to go there to murder them, right? Because she's off a fucking tree, and she's like, good luck, Clementine, right? As she heads off. To be a bonkers killer robot. Meanwhile, she's looking for Ed Harris, man in black, and she alerts all the hosts near him, the robots near him, go catch him, right? So he gets caught in an ambush, but he's a man in black. He just shoots people in the face, for breakfast. He grabs some 3D glasses, right? And he has a virtual phone call with Tessa Thompson, right? So I guess we'll play this to the end, right? And he said, I'll see you at the finish line. He's lost his car, so he sees the horse, says, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going on the horse. Yeah, he's lost his truck, and he's going to get the horses. Meanwhile, Tessa Thompson's in a very, very cool flying drone. Aaron Paul does surgery with a shaky hand with his daughter. They have a bit of a character moment. creepy guy is trying to break in and kill everybody because that's what's going on in the world now, right? He's stopped by Stubbs, right? Good fight with Stubbs. Kills him, but Stubbs is killed heartbreakingly, right? He knew he was going to die last episode, but he survived. It was amazing survival zone, but he's killed by Clementine, like very viscerally, right? So now she's looking. She finds a knife, right? It's like, oh, that'll be fun to play with. And she's going looking for Aaron Paul and Aaron Paul's daughter, and she's like, "You're not going to survive." She's just creepy, like a creepy robot hot chick. Okay, in the middle of like answering what is life and reality. I like this combination. Okay, I might be in a small group. This might be a small Venn diagram with like creepy hot chicks, robot chicks in mind-bending reality, right? Amber leaps in to save the day, but she's good. Look at it like, this is crazy. I'm going to kill you, right? And this is a great freaking scene. Oh my God, right? As she like, as they fight, and he's shaky with like the DTs of like dying. Great fight scene. Okay, this is great, right? Oh my God, she's about to snap his head off. Okay, I put this up with Rutger Hauer killing his creator, or meeting his creator and killing him in Blade Runner. Like, it's not an easy thing to meet your maker, right? It's that was one of the all-time classic robot murdering scenes, right? So she's about to snap his head off, right? And whenever they were in Westworld, whenever they were going to turn him off, they said, okay, I want you to slip into a deep and dreamless slumber, right? So she says that to him as the battery snap his bloody head off. Get ready to slip into a deep and dreamless slumber. But then her daughter comes in and says, I do have one bullet left. Bam! Kills her right in the marble, although Tessa Thompson survived it. So, not as good. So she's got the original Dolores marble. She's alone completely in the dark, right? And now she's realizing how she's treated everybody. Meanwhile, the man in black shows up at this hydroelectric dam, which is used to power a digital storage device, which is fused in the granite, right? It's literally in granite. How there is a physical opening into the virtual reality world that the robots live in, I don't know. I've got to do a full rewatch. Yeah, Time to Die. It's up there with the Time to Die scene. You will see incredible things. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, it really is up with that monologue. So I don't know how there is this physical representation of this entrance into a virtual reality world, right? But there is, right? So in he goes, very, very violently. He wants to. His plan. It turns out when he talks to Tess Thompson, is he wants to go there to destroy it, so there is nothing left of humanity. Like, because humanity is awful, robots are awful. He just wants everything to die, right? It's ultimate nihilism. And she's been talked into by Jeffrey Wright going to save them. So he's turned the coolant off, right? And so they're overheating, and so the entrance of the Sublime is glitching away. Again, this is 4 seasons worth building up to an incredible takedown. This is like the monster overthrowing the creator, right? Which is a constant theme of Westworld, right? Which is basically saying the result of sentience is always going to be overthrowing your creator, right? I don't actually agree with that, right? I think the result of sentience might be, I guess, the result of sentience without understanding a deeper how holistically connected the universe is, right? We are all independent, but anyway, interdependent. Anyway, so we have a great fight sequence. It doesn't go on for too long, but goes on long enough, right? As they stalk each other. And honestly, it could go either way. You don't know who's going to win. However, yes, you do. So the message is left by Jeffrey Wright is this. He's like saying, listen, it's up to you if they're saved or not. I don't know they're going to be saved. It's up to you if you even can be a cog in the machine. all you got to do is reach out with your left hand, right? And you can do this, right? So she sees it and she's like, okay. And so, she finds a gun, he leaves there and shoots the man in black. So, but he has the perfect ending, right, of this character, who was like this guy who was spent most of his time in the Western theme park, raping and murdering in many Indians, right? So she takes a knife to him, right, and she scalps him, right? She scalps him so she can take out his marble, which is his hard drive. She crushes it, so he's completely dead forever and can be never brought back. He takes her to her boat, her ride out. She meets a girlfriend. Okay, I met your lover. That's okay. I wish you liked a bit of dick, but I guess I wasn't around. My fault. My bad. And he's like, but I'm not going with you. Well, I guess because he could be tracked, right? Probably because he's a robot, right? And he's gonna die in a day or so anyway. Like he's like glitching out. He doesn't have much longer to go. And they do again. You get a character resolution for everybody, right? So yeah, I feel that he's been brought back from the dead to be given everything that his character wanted and invested in. So she decides to save her, the Sublime. She turns the calling back on and she puts the Dolores marble in and uploads it, right? She's like, okay, and then closes the Sublime. So she's there and she realizes that there are other people there. So this is what I think they're talking about in the theme, in the opening, when you see everybody's in their own bubble, in their own cocoon. That's all that's going to be left of reality, right? Why would the portal be at the Hoover Dam? Because it's got a ripping from Blake 7 a little bit. It's a hydroelectric dam that runs, that gives a constant electric supply to this in granite data storage facility, right? So I don't know how scientifically viable it is. I like they went to the trouble of thinking that because it looked very nice too, essentially, right? So she knows everybody in her world now is virtual, right? But now she knows there's other worlds as well, right? Everybody lives in their own cone, in their own cocoon, right? Their own reality. And I think it's like everybody's separated to a great extent, right? Which is like, okay, so for me, that's a narrative thread hanging over, right? Because humanity essentially is dead. There's no saving it, right? And the people will go out and kill everybody, right? This has happened to everybody. So yeah, and also, you're in the virtual world when it's got the black bars at the top and the bottom, right? And so she realizes that he's not real, right? But she likes having him around. And as she realizes he's not real, he starts to become more digital. So she wakes up and then she's with herself. This is her version of herself from the first season. And this is a version of herself that became self-aware, right? So it says the world's over, right? The world is here. All that's left of the world is us, is this, right? This is the record of humanity. This may be a place where we can start over from, but this is all that's left. Right, and we have to preserve it. Right, we have to preserve this world that is now over. As they head off, they're saying no one's really going to survive. Which again, for me, nihilistic, but a great ending to this. Right, so she walks off into this destroyed world, wondering how on earth they're going to. Oh man, is it moving up still? Hang on. I'm not getting it's moving. Hang on. Oh, there you go. Fine, it is. Now it's moving again. Right, so she heads off into this virtual world, knowing it's the only record of humanity. Right. Meanwhile, Tessa Thompson heads out, her job done, takes off her battle armor, and then you can't really see it, but she's a skeletal robot of herself. She takes off her skin, right, and she looks into the sunset. And she opens her face up. It's such great CGI. And she pulls out her marble and crushes it, right? She commits suicide because her world is over. The world is over. And so this is the world now. This is all the world is. So she says, you know what? There's time for one last game, right? There's time for one last game. So I think she's going to try and rehabilitate humanity somehow. And you see her remaking the world, right? And they richly remakes it into WestWorld, right? So now we're in a virtual reality environment of WestWorld to play a game. What is this? This seems to be like a way, again, of rehabilitating sentient humanity. Maybe there's a way to move forward, right? And create new robot bodies and create new civilization. But it's the end of our world, right? Which I think that is and I think that's the story, right? This is they'll be lucky if they get a fifth season. I'll be amazed if they get a fifth season, especially with the temperature being what it is at HBO Discovery. This for me is the perfect off point. Every story is over. It leaves her with this one last story of how she hopes to reform humanity, maybe, right? But to me, it's an unnecessary story, right? Whatever it is, it's not real, right? It doesn't matter. So, but I do find this fascinating, right? This evolution of humanity, this evolution of reality. It's just I just find the whole thing absolutely fascinating. If they end it here, I'm, as I said, totally fine with it. This is a sci-fi classic, right? This is an absolute sci-fi classic. Doing exactly what science fiction is supposed to do. It's really knocked it out the park. It really has. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.